Hey everyone, my name is Victor Dwyer, and today I'm going to go through on how I stay positive on a daily basis and really dive into the traits of really in depth on why specifically I'm happy on a daily basis from all the different mindsets I kind of really broke down within my daily life and figured out. And I'm going to break it down to you and really show each trait and going to give you actionable steps on how you can bring those traits into your life as well. So let's dive right in. So I live off of Google Sheets. So I'm gonna go down today and break down all my attributes of who I am within these Google Sheets today. So this Google Sheet I'm gonna share with you guys. These are all the different traits on and the different traits I have on descriptions on how I handle that trait and how I even learned that trait. And I have like this for all the different traits I have within my life and this sheet of like how you define your best work. But today I'm going to go through the positive side of this. Like this has everything on like everything I broke down my mind of everything who I am as a human being, and I'm putting it all in one sheet. It's called Victor's Mind Map. So that's kind of what we're going to go through today and kind of break it all down. Okay, cool. So let's kind of go through on how I am positive on a daily basis. First thing is you have to have some type of willingness to change, okay? Most people in life do not want to change. They think they do, but in reality they do not. And it's really important to have that willingness to kind of change, and they really get stuck in these routines of like that's what the human brain is really good at, is really keep doing the same thing every single time, but they think that's the only way it can be. And there's always a way to change. We're always changing, but you usually don't notice it. It's usually these micro changes that you barely notice. But at the end of the day, we're changing throughout our entire life. We're constantly noticing things, learning new things, and that's making it where we're constantly evolving as a person. That's always happening. But these people that get caught in routines, they think they really can't change. But at the end of the day, it's a choice. This is a choice that you want to make. So if you don't want to change, then stop the video and just literally leave, because there's no point of watching the rest of this video. So you can just click off at this point, because you have to be willing to change and be able to say, okay, I'm ready to change. I want to somehow improve my life. If you can say that sentence, then go ahead. You can watch the rest of this video. But if you're not willing to change, then there's no point of wasting your time. So just go back to your routine. You can do that. No problem. Cool. So let's kind of move on. So once you're able to change, then it's your goals. So first we have to adapt what are your goals and shift it to a positive perspective. So it's really important that most of our goals in life, as we learned it from a child, our goals were given to us by society of we need a bigger house, we need the fancier car, we need to have a successful job, we need a hot wife, whatever, like hot spouse, whatever it may be. Like these are all goals, things of what society tells us we should do, but in reality make no sense. Like why that those goals will never lead you to happiness. That is like people's desires are given to them from external things that aren't even their own. And we all are chasing these things that aren't even our goals. Like they're not. In reality, they're just society's goals of what they tell us we should do. But if you really break it down, there's no reason to chase these things. They're not going to lead us to happiness. Having a bigger car, fancier house, and all these other things aren't going to make us happy. They just tell us they are going to. That's the difference. So really dive in, really change, really look at your goals and say, in your desires, say like, hey, like, even if I accomplish this goal, will this make me happy? Like, a lot of people think that it will, but in reality, it doesn't. Most people don't actually know what they want. So it's really, really important. I have a link to a video. Most of these will have a link to a video that's going to be really able to adjust your mindset on how it adjusted my mindset. And that way, if you go through and watch each of these videos, it should adjust your mindset in the same way of really being able to break this down and kind of go through with this process. Next thing is judging yourself. I used to judge myself horribly. It made me work 14 hours a day. I would criticize myself every second I did not work. If I went to go to a friend's house and just like have fun, okay, for example, I would come home and criticize myself to the point where I could not sleep anymore. And you you are your own worst critic, and it's really really important to really not do that on a daily basis and not judge yourself. It's very very important. And don't like the expectation of that you should be somewhere in life is evil at the end of the day. Like these expectations are given to us by society, by other things. It's really important to dive in saying, "Hey, eliminating all expectation within yourself is going to make it where you are better." Like it doesn't matter what at 30 you're not supposed to figure everything out. At like everyone has these crazy expectations of like, "Oh, at 24 I'm going to be married, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be happy." And then that's how you get unhappy. You get stressed because you think you should be making $1 million. You're unhappy because you expect to be at this certain level. But in reality, these expectations don't even make any sense. Like, why? Why do I need to make $1 million? Like, there's no point. There's no point. It's not going to make me happy. There's no point. And it's really important to not focus on being perfect. I used to focus on being perfect every single day, and that led me to where any little mistake I would criticize myself all the time for. It's really important to say at the end of the day, my goal is to make a little bit of progress, to be a little bit better as a human being every single day. That could be like taking a small micro step, meaning that I learned one little thing about how to be better than I was yesterday. That's my only goal. My goal is not to be perfect. My goal is to make mistakes now, because making mistakes is going to be how I progress faster. So, it became from me criticizing myself every single time I made a mistake to me being a little bit better as a human being every day and making mistakes on purpose sometimes so that way I learn faster. So it's really important not to criticize yourself. Don't try to be perfect and just focus on being progressing and being a little bit better every day. That's my goal. And there's another video to kind of go off of that too. Next thing is being accountable. This is really, really important. Like, I never blame anyone. Gary Vee kind of says this the best of I don't blame anyone for my problems. And he kind of made it where he adjusted my mindset of being accountable for yourself and saying it's my parents' fault, it's my society's fault, it's Gen Z's fault, whatever it may be. When you blame something else external besides yourself, the anger within yourself becomes amplified. Meaning, let's say someone comes by and someone steps on my foot, for example. If I'm saying, "Ow, that person stepped on my foot. I'm so angry at them. I can't believe they just did that." And then you start building up this anger within you. Okay? I can't believe it. But then you realize that you really just put your foot out and made it where it was very easy for that person to step on your foot. And now, then honestly, it's your fault because you put out your foot and they stepped on it. You made it easier for them to step on your foot. And if you take a look at that, saying, "Hey, it's my fault," there's really no reason to be angry about it, then the anger dissipates. It's gone. But if I were to constantly ruminate and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that person," the anger builds up and more and more. So the more you think that it's on external factors, meaning that you blaming others, that anger is going to increase and build up within you. And it's really important to, at the end of the day, say, "Hey, it's my fault." And then from there, you can change it. You can say, "Hey, next time, I'm not going to stick out my foot. I'm going to be a little bit more careful." Now you're progressing. It's really important to have that level of accountability and say, "Hey, at the end of the day, everything's my fault for what I do." So it's important to, once you're at the ability to not judge yourself anymore, then you have the ability to be accountable, saying, "Hey, this is my fault. I need to fix it next time. It's not their fault. It's my fault." And that will have some level of happiness for you. And I don't have a specific link for that, but you should listen to Gary Vee. He talks a lot about accountability in your life, and it's a very positive thing. So I highly recommend being accountable in life. Next thing is gratitude. So just the gratitude of being alive on a daily basis. I am very, very grateful for just being alive. And at the end of the day, I don't think we deserve to be alive. Like, we are just these billions, we are trillions of chemical equations that are keeping us alive every single second of every single day. We are built out of trillions of cells that are constantly keeping us alive, and all these chemical equations, all these chemical reactions are happening just to keep you alive, making sure that you are living and thriving. If any of these organs, if any of these cells stop working at any second, we will die. And think about all this work, all this energy in the universe that is put out just to keep you alive. Think about all these reactions. Just read about like how the lungs work. Like watch one video on how the lungs work. You will be amazed of how much goes into it, of you breathing, of your brain sending the reaction to you breathing, taking in the oxygen, sending that through your bloodways. Just that alone, saying, wow, all this is just to keep me alive every single second of every day, and the amount of energy is inputted to make that happen. So I'm very grateful of all these reactions that are happening just to keep me alive. And at the end of the day, we are these bag of chemicals. We are no different from the dirt that's in the ground or the chemicals in the ocean. There's nothing different from us. But we have the ability to feel alive. That's what's amazing. We have this ability of we are no different from the dirt in the earth, and yet we have this feeling of being alive. We are nothing but these bag of chemicals, but you can see. You're not just this automated machine. You feel alive. You have this feeling of consciousness that is supernatural rather than being this dirt in the ground and just like living like automated things. Like we are not robots. We feel alive. We can think. We are able to see. We are able to feel. Even though we're just these chemicals in the ground, we have the ability of life. We are just the universe perceiving itself. And I'm extremely grateful for that. We don't deserve that gift. Even if I was like given 1 second of consciousness and died at birth, I am grateful that I got that 1 second because I got to live what no other chemical substance in the world and the entire universe has gotten. There are 7 billion people that has gotten the chance of consciousness. And we don't deserve that. We don't deserve to be these chemicals in the earth and to be living and seeing the world through this eyes of consciousness. We don't deserve to do that. But yet here we are able to live and thrive on a daily basis and be able to go through these trillions of chemicals equations to keep us alive and have this feeling of life. It really is amazing. And I really don't believe we don't deserve that. There's nothing that we did to give that type of gift of life. All these chemical equations that keep us alive on a daily basis and the feeling of consciousness, even for a second, I could not be more grateful for. It's amazing. That's my attitude and why I'm so grateful of my life. And I don't have a video for that. It's just kind of an attitude I built up over time and just reading about how the world works. And I think knowledge, the more knowledge you have of the world, you know how I talked about just the lungs? My belief is the more knowledge that you have of the world and your body is the more grateful you will be for the world. Meaning that if you just read on it can be organs or whatever it can be just a tree. Like if you like watch one YouTube video on how a tree works, it's insane. Like if you like what happens, the trees, the leaves go through photosynthesis, they go that sends the energy down to the trunk, and then the trunk and then the roots are taking up the water and the nutrients from the soil, and they go through all these processes. Then you start looking at trees completely different. You're like, wow, trees are amazing. Like you never think that these pieces of wood would actually do anything, but in reality, they're amazing. So I find gratitude and appreciation for the world through knowledge. That's the way I am grateful for the world. Knowledge is the key for me to really appreciating everything around the world. So I constantly am evolving. I'm constantly watching YouTube videos on how I can progress myself on a daily basis and really just learning how the world works. That's really all I care about. Um, and it's made it where I have more appreciation for who I am, for my body, my like everything that happens on a daily basis, how muscles work, and it just makes me a grateful person. So yeah, I really believe in that. Okay. Positive social experiences. I'm a big believer in this one too. Having some type of So it's really important to realize that your perception of yourself does not come from yourself. It comes from others. That's how the human brain works. It's not who you think you are, it's who you think your friends think you are. Or the not necessarily friends, the people you hang around is who think you are. So it's really important to stay around positive people because that will change the perception of who you are, to change your perception of yourself. So when you're around positive people and they'll give you these micro comments is what I call them. And saying, "Hey, you're like for example, hey, you're a really funny person." And in that little micro comment of when someone says something like that to you, you analyze it and you're like, "Wow, I am a funny person." And what that does, it starts going in the storage unit of your brain and it starts becoming your identity of what you are. So when people start saying these micro comments of what are going on through their brain, it's going to start developing the identity of who you are. So it's really important to hang around positive people because those micro comments are going to come out. And it's the opposite when toxic people. When you hang around toxic people, you're going to say, "Hey, you're really dumb. Did you know that?" And then those micro comments are going to have a negative attribute to your identity. So it's really important to hang around positive people. And normally people are going to say always hang around positive people, but there's no analysis of why they hang around positive people. Here's the reason why. It's because your identity comes from others. So it's really important to hang around positive people because those micro comments will change how your identity works. So it's really important there. And it's also important to, not in the social media world, it's also important to change who you listen to. So I wouldn't follow accounts that are talking about Lamborghinis or like all these identities of success that aren't necessarily true of what society says. I would listen to people that are a little bit more authentic and talk about like positive attributes and positive things that are going to also eat into your identity as well and make you a positive person at the end of the day. So I would listen to constant positive stuff, motivational stuff, and really changing your perspective on how you see things rather than following people with Lamborghinis and following people with these big houses and wow, they're so successful. I wish I was them. And that's not the best way to look at it. It's really important to just find people that are authentic and positive, and that's going to have the best way to find yourself at the end of the day. Next thing is control. Become a stoic. And basically that's stoicism. I would read, if you want to watch a video on that, I highly recommend getting into stoicism if you are unhappy. But at the end of the day, we can't control anything that happens in life, so there's no point to worry about it. I do not worry about anything. Like, at the end of the day, if I am happy and I'm a little bit better than I was yesterday, I accomplished. Like, I'm grateful for that I'm alive, and I just progressed a little bit today. Like, that is all I need in life. It doesn't matter if I have like some amount of money. It doesn't matter how other people perceive me. I don't care. I don't care. Like my goal is to just just to live my life and be happy. That's all I care about. And there's nothing in life I can control. Nothing. 99% of the factors are out of my control. Like literally a meteor could hit the world tomorrow and literally there's nothing I could do about it. Seriously. And that's just okay. It's just okay. Like, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. There's no point of worrying about it. If you can't control it, don't worry about it. For example, if I had cancer or someone else I knew had cancer, I would be sad for them and I would help them as much as I humanly could, but it's nothing I would stress over because it's nothing I could change. If I can't change it, there's no point to worry about it. That doesn't mean it can't be top of mind or you can't help other people with it or anything else like that, but it's important to only focus on the things that you can change yourself. That's all you can change. Jealousy. This is a really big one. So I used to get very, very jealous of other people and how successful they were, how if they were get a lot more following, if they got a lot more engagement, whatever it may be on social media. It's really important to, first of all, not look at people with Lamborghinis, and it's important not to wish to be them, but to be happy for them. And that was a big change for me. I would see these people that were super successful in the social media game and say like, wow, they had a lot of following, and I'd be very jealous. But then jealousy is a very negative, meaning that, oh, I wish I was them. I wish I would be them. Oh my gosh. But when you wish to be someone, you don't realize they're only showing the positive things in their life. You have no idea the bad crap. Everyone in the world is going through crap in their lives. Horrible, horrible crap in their lives that no one has any idea of. And when you wish to be someone, you are losing that aspect of yourself that you don't realize everything that they're going through on a daily basis that would really suck to be them at the end of the day. So I highly recommend not wishing that you were someone else because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they have been through. And you don't want to go through that. At the end of the day, you just want to be yourself and just be happy for others. Just be happy for them. Be happy that they have their Lamborghini. I wouldn't keep watching that content because that's going to make it where you identify as success as them. But I would say, hey, I'm happy for this person. And that took me a long time to develop. I would still get jealous, but I slowly learned. I'm like, okay, every time I instigate, like every time I felt the jealousy coming on, I'd say, hey, stop. I'm going to be happy for this person. And eventually it caught on. And now every time I see someone that's way more successful than me, I'm awesome. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for them. Because at the end of the day, I'm internally happy. And I want to spread that happiness as well. Which is why I'm making this video. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't believe in that. Next is fulfillment. So fulfillment, a lot of people think that fulfillment comes from accomplishments. That like basically having that big house is going to cause you to be happier and be able to do more. And they think like, oh, once I get this, I'm going to be happy. Once I get this, I'm going to be happy. And it's this constant cycle of chasing fulfillment, never reaching it. Chasing fulfillment, never reaching it. There's a reason why millionaires are never happy. That some millionaires commit suicide. Like these huge celebrities commit suicide. The reason is because they're in a constant state of like saying, hey, once I be a millionaire, I'm going to be happy. Once I get this big house, I'm going to be happy. And like I said before, the worst thing you can do to a human being is give them everything they ever wanted. It's true. Human beings do not know what they want at the end of the day. They think that once we're a millionaire, once we have a big house, then once all these problems go away, we're going to be happy. That's not true. It's not. Anytime you make a goal saying, once I do this, I will be happy, that goal will never lead you to happiness. I guarantee it. This is why I'm talking about this. No one else talks about that. No one else says these things. Goals don't lead to happiness. There's not a single goal. Once I get a girlfriend, once I get a wife, or once I get a spouse, I'm going to be happy. Once this happens, I'm going to be happy. Once you make a future play of once this happens, I'm going to be happy, that will never cause happiness. Every time you rely on a external factor in order to be happy, it will not happen. It's very, very unlikely. Because that cycle in motion will constantly make us a constant cycle of unhappiness. And that's where that routine of unhappiness comes into play. It's really important to realize that fulfillment comes from helping other people. The human brain is programmed to have feelings of fulfillment from helping other people. It is programmed to do this. When we were caveman and we helped out other people, that helped out the tribe. And when we helped other people, that gave us a sense of fulfillment, which made us a stronger unit, where made us where we are today. We are one big, the whole world is one big tribe. Yes, there are other countries. At the end of the day, we're so connected now that we are one big tribe at this point. So fulfillment does not come from accomplishment. It comes from helping other people. So at the end of the day, that's where you're going to get the most fulfillment, by just helping them. Like, there's all these people that are having all these issues, and just asking, hey, is there anything I can do for you? And having that intent of helping them, that will make you feel better as a person, and you'll really start to feel that fulfillment, seeing that it doesn't matter if you got a choice of $1 million or helping one person. That fulfillment you get off of helping that one person is going to be so much greater than any amount of money that you could ever get. And people don't realize that. These millionaires, they think like, oh, once I get to 10 million, I'm going to be happy. Once I get to 50 million, 100 million. And then eventually they end up just committing suicide because they can never find that fulfillment, because they don't realize it's from helping other people. That's the point. Fulfillment comes from helping other people. It's really important. And I learned that from Simon Sinek. So, highly recommend you watching that video. Then, the next thing is fear. I was terrified of talking to new people. Absolutely terrified. And then I started playing volleyball and doing other things. And then I realized everyone is afraid to talk to new people. That is a normal human attribute. After I learned that, I was like, screw it. I can talk to all these people. And I was really able to like learn a lot in life from that. And it really changed my perspective on how I view things. So I was very fearful at that. I was also very fearful about public speaking, terrified of doing it. Every time I do it, my heart still beats crazy fast, and I still talk really fast, unfortunately. But my goal is to like really conquer that fear and tackle it, because fear is horrible. When we were caveman, the ones that were afraid to jump off the bridge or the jump off the cliffs were the ones that lived. We are the descendants of the most fearful and anxiety-filled people that eventually had kids and kept going. Meaning that the most people that had the most fear and that were able to had the most anxiety were the ones that eventually had kids, and we are the descendants of those beings, of those cavemen. And it's really important to realize that and not let the fear rule your life, because it is at the core that you can literally see within the human brain, that you can see all the stages of the human brain. Fear is at its core of the human brain. It completely decides all our decisions within our life. So it's very, very important not to override that programming within your brain and to take over what that fear is. That is what I'm going through today. I'm going through the resetting the programming of your brain, because the current wiring of our brain is not designed to make us happy. That is not how humans succeeded in life. It's not by happiness. It was by having more kids and moving on to the next generations. And the ones that were most fearful and got the most food and that were hungriest at the end of the day were the ones that thrived and lived. But today, I want to try to reset that programming. And that's what I've been on a mission to do throughout my entire life, is resetting that. And fear is one of the most difficult things you can do, is taking one small step. So for example, if you are afraid of public speaking, my philosophy is to dive straight in the pool and really tackle it head on. Meaning that fear is all delusional. Meaning it's all about what if. You're not afraid of public speaking. You're afraid of messing up in public speaking. That's what you're afraid of. You say, what if I mess up? What if I choke? What if I stop talking? Like, it's what if? So it's really important. And once you start going down enough what ifs, the fear becomes basically like you're jumping off a cliff. That's when you haven't done it yet, when you haven't kissed that girl, when you haven't done public speaking once, it is the same fear level as jumping off a cliff. Your brain thinks that you're going to die. That is why your heart beats fast. That's why you're so scared, is because you think your brain is thinking you're going to die. You're going to die. You need to be scared. You need to run. That is why your heart's beating fast. So it's important to do it once, and then you realize, hey, I'm not going to die. That's what the brain starts figuring out. Once you public speak once, you realize, oh, I'm really not going to die from this. And the brain starts to see that and say, okay, maybe he's not going to die from public speaking. Then you do it twice. Then you do it 3 times. Then you do it 4 times. And it's really important to realize that and just to dive in and think about everyone makes mistakes. Dive in head first. Take one small step toward it. It could be like, for example, you might one time just like clap your hands in a restaurant where everyone looks at you, and then say, okay, that was embarrassing, but hey, it got me one step closer. And then the next time you can start like talking in a big group of friends and just say, hey, what's up, guys? And then just like let all the eyes look at you and judge you and say, hey, this isn't too bad. And slowly start adapting and like really getting the brain used to saying, hey, you're not going to die. That's really all you have to convince it. Once you convince your fear that you're not going to die, that's all your brain cares about. Your brain doesn't want you to die. Your brain wants you to live. That's the reason why the core of fear is there. Once you say that, hey, once you communicate to your brain that you're not going to die, it doesn't care. Fear doesn't care anymore. So taking one small step is really important. Next thing I recommend is having no regrets. So I'm a very, very big believer in fate. I am massive believer in fate, meaning that no matter what happens in life, there is only one path that I could have gone on. I will never believe that I could have made another, like, for example, I had a huge life decision 2 months ago, whether if I sell my business or continue with my business. Okay? And they were huge. It was a huge life decision for me. Do I want to be an entrepreneur or not be an entrepreneur, or be an employee? And that was a big life decision for me. And at the end of the day, I chose one, and I stuck with it. And I am a big believer that there is no time machines. There is no past. There is no like time machines to go back and change anything. And I'm a believer in fate, that there's only one path that I could have gone on. If that situation was replicated 1,000 times, it would have happened that single time, every single time, no matter what happens. All I was given, the data I was at the time, with the knowledge I had at the time, and I made a decision and went with it. There's nothing I can do to change that decision. And I'm a believer in fate, so that's the only one it could have happened. Life, you could have simulated this life 1,000,000 times. I would have chosen the same time every single time. And that leads to where I don't have any regrets, because that's the decision I would have made, and there's nothing I can do to change that. And that's why it leads me to a lot of happiness. Regret is very, very toxic. It can lead to a lot of unhappiness. So I'm a huge believer in fate. Highly recommend it. Next thing is spiritual. So I am not religious, but I have a greater meaning in the world to live. And the way I find that is I believe that we are all one consciousness, just living different lives. Basically like reincarnation in a way, but one consciousness, just living all different lives. This feeling of life, that is consciousness. And I feel like we are all one consciousness at the end of the day, just living different lives. And it may not make sense, but the reason why I believe in it is because I think we are all on the same team. Is that you are just variants of me, or I'm a variant of you, however you want to think about it. and we're just living different lives, just trying to do the most we can with the life we have. And when I see it from that perspective, I see that, hey, we're all on a team. We all have the same goals of just living our best life. And I want to help people. At that point, I genuinely want to help as many people, variants of me, variants of you, to really help progress life. That's the reason why I'm making this video. I see you as a variant of me saying, hey, this is a variant of me that's trying to live his best life, and I want to try to help this person. I want you to be successful because you are a variant of me, and I want to help you. I want to help you because this life that I went through right now, I learned a lot, and I want to teach those learnings to you so you can be happy as well. Every variant of me should be happy. And I want to try to communicate that to you and help you as much as possible. And I'm not gonna communicate what I'm talking about very well. I highly recommend watching this video of the Kurtz Get the Egg video. It's a very good video about how we are just one consciousness living different lives, and it's very, very fascinating. I highly, highly recommend it. It changed my life. I watch it probably once a week or once every 2 weeks because it completely changed my perspective on how I view life. I really see us as all on the same team, just trying to do our best. And it's really made a very positive impact on my life, and it's made it where I try to help as many people as humanly possible. And that goes for mean people as well. I'm in the business world. There's lots of people that are trying to that scam me, try to scam me, whatever it may be. And I see those people as those are the people those are variants of me if my mom didn't love me. Those are variants of me if my dad left me. And thinking about, hey, this is me. Like that person that scammed me or is trying to scam me, that's me. That is me doing that. That would have been me if my mom didn't love me. That would be me if trauma happened in my life. And I feel bad for that person because that's me making that decision. Me. So everyone is the way they are for these particular reasons in life. And when people are making very bad decisions and scamming other people and hurting other people on purpose for their own gain, that means they're hurting inside. And I feel really bad for those people. And I think that that's me making that decision. That's me hurting other people. And I want to help those people because I know I would not make those decisions. So, and I know that they are that way from the experiences they had in their past, and I want to help them. And I know that sounds ambitious, but I try. Next thing is, oops, not me to click on that one, is, that's it. Wow. Okay, awesome. And then the next thing I wanted to go over is the stages of happiness. So down here, so all the links that go to each one of these, that will help you out with kind of identifying each one of those. And then there's also the 5 elements of happiness that I wanted to kind of go over. Is first of all, there's spiritual happiness, having some type of meaning and purpose in life. This is called the SPIRE method, by the way, of finding the 5 elements of happiness. Basically, these are the 5 ways to progress, and that will naturally make you happier over time. Having some type of meaning and purpose in life, the reason to get up, having some type of spiritual progress inside, like having a greater meaning in life rather than just living. Having some type of physical exercise, somehow progressing physically to kind of help you feel better, live a healthier life that will naturally lead to a happier life. Intellectual, learning a new thing every day and just really helping getting a better understanding of the world, seeing life from a new perspective, really having an open mind and really identifying and figuring out like new perspectives in life. Relational, having a good positive quality relationship. Like I said, those positive relationships are going to help you identify of who you are as a human being. And then emotional, just being grateful for what you have. So this is the SPIRE method of kind of seeing where you are in life and kind of being a little bit better. And I did want to touch on ego, because ego is going to be a way that you are going to really be, if you have a large ego, you're going to be a very closed-minded person. So I would add in here just having an open mind and not being egotistical. Thinking that, hey, I don't know everything. Like, for example, I don't identify as someone that's smart. Even though I broke down every single attribute of who I am as a human being, I don't define myself as smart. Not even intelligent. Not even close. The reason why is because if I were to identify as myself as intelligent, then I would see other people as less intelligent than me, and then I wouldn't listen to their opinion. So I see myself as dumb most of the time, and I say, okay, cool. And then I listen to people more. So be open minded, take in other perspectives, listen to them, or genuinely listen to them, and see if that's something you want to adopt. And don't be egotistical about it. Don't say, oh, I'm so much smarter, or like I'm better than this person. Even if someone is a lower level than me, like I would listen to a homeless person because there's always some reason to listen to someone. Like I want to listen to a homeless person and listen to their concept of life. How they're able to live the way they do. What are they grateful for? How are they going through their life? And I want to understand that perspective. There's no status of like a reason why I wouldn't listen to someone and would listen to someone else. I listen to everyone because I want to understand their perspectives. I want to understand the way they think. And that's kind of my process I go through. So be open-minded, don't be egotistical, and say at its core, just say, hey, I want to listen to these people's perspectives. I want to understand the way they think. And that is going to help me progress as a person. That is going to lead me to more happiness. And it's important at the end of the day, remember not to judge yourself for not being happy. Don't say, I can't believe I'm not happy. That goes into expectation. You shouldn't expect to be happy. The human mind is not programmed for you to be happy. Your human mind is for you to eat and have babies. That is the only thing that the human brain is designed to do. If you accomplish those two things, you succeeded in life. It doesn't care if you live. It doesn't care if you do anything else. Your job is just to make other generations of babies. That is all it cares about. So we are the descendants of those people. So the human brain is trained to be paranoid. It's trained to be fearful of the future. We're always thinking, what if, what if, what if? That it's designed to think about the future. That's all it's designed for. Is saying, okay, how am I going to get food for my kids? How am I going to get the next stage of food? It's going through this cycle of never being present. Did I skip that? Be present. I think I skipped that, but basically it's important to really be present and always think and always focus on the present because the human brain is trained to think about the future all the time. So it's really important to go through with that and just be happy with where you are in life because the human brain is going to constantly be thinking about the future and worrying about it. So you need to break that down saying, hey, I can't control the future of what happens. That goes into stoicism of not realizing you can't control the future, saying, hey, it's going to be okay. At the end of the day, I'm just happy to be alive right now. That's all that matters. And you really have to break it down and just be present and not worry about the future. There's no point of worrying. You can't control it. There's no point to worry about it. And then our goal is to break those patterns, be happy in the present. It takes time. Once you change the content you listen to, you will slowly understand the perspectives of these perspectives to help change your life. I am not expecting this video to change your life. Okay? This is a lot of content packed into one almost hour-long video of all these different concepts to learn. Okay? These are concepts. I don't expect for you to become a perfect human being, a perfect happy person by the end of this video. That is not what I created this for. I created this as planting a seed within your brain of concepts to think about and then grow with your own to adopt it to becoming a happier human being. That is why I did this, to plant a seed within your brain of beginning concepts of willingness to change, goals, judging yourself, being accountable, having that thing of gratitude. And that takes time. That seed will take time. You may have to watch this video multiple times. That's okay. You may have to watch. I highly recommend going through each of these links, watching these videos, understanding the concepts I'm talking about, and really going through each of these links. And if you want me to make deeper videos about certain concepts here, I'm happy to do that. Just communicate that to me. Say, hey, Victor, can you go more into gratitude, more into positive social experiences? I want to learn more about that. Cool. Let me make a video about it. Let's do it. Like, at the end of the day, I want to help you. So if you tell me how I can help you become a better human being by teaching you things, please let me know that. That's my goal at the end of the day. And because I get fulfillment off of this. That, like, I'm a happy human being, and I want to gain that fulfillment from helping other people because you are me. We are the same person. So I really do believe that. And once you change the content you listen to, you will slowly get the concepts I'm learning to really help plant the seed of kind of growing this over time. And watch the videos above. You'll slowly understand these concepts. Even if you are partially motivated to find happiness, then you will watch the videos a little bit to be a little bit happier every day. I don't want you to just watch this video and then just go back to your normal stuff, following the same accounts that lead you to having fake goals that you don't even want, going back to the same toxic friends, going to the same crap. You have to initiate some level of change. Please let this be the video where you somehow initiate and change some pattern in life that is causing you to be unhappy. Taking away those positive friends, following different accounts on social media. Like, you must break this pattern of unhappiness. And I'm not saying it's easy. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying to try to break it. Just try. It could be watching one of these videos I put under, like, once a day. Like, maybe that's your routine. You watch one of those videos above right here once a day. And that becomes part of your routine to slowly adopt one of these mindsets and take a concept. And you might make this a weekly plan saying, hey, this week I'm going to watch goal videos and really adjust my goal. I'm going to follow different accounts. I'm going to go through that process. And then this next week I'm going to go through not judging myself. And I might make that as a weekly plan. That's actually a really good idea of something I might go through. But for each, like, that's a really good idea. I might make a video. Let me know if you want me to do that. I'll be happy to do that. And please change your pattern of what you're going through every day, because the human brain is evolved to constantly go through these stages of patterns, and nothing's going to change. If you watch this video and you just leave this video and you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to be happier. You're just going to be living your same crap that you're going to go through all the time. So please watch these videos above. Have some change within your life and initiate one of these. Whether if it is noticing you get jealous and saying, hey, I'm happy for this person. That's a change within your life. I want to help you change. And we're always changing. I want you to be more accountable. So when someone does step on your foot and you are blaming others, saying, hey, this is my fault. Like, these are things that take time and triggers. Every time you notice yourself doing these things, you have to realize it first. Realization that, hey, I am angry at this person. I am blaming others for my problems. I need to stop that. First, you have to realize you're doing it. Then you initiate the next action of countering it. So rather than blaming others, blaming your life, blaming other things, saying, hey, this is my fault. So realizing you're blaming others, and then next saying, hey, this is my fault. Then that will lead you to happiness. And you have to do that for each one of these attributes. And eventually, you'll start noticing yourself becoming dramatically happier over time. And it's a very slow process. It takes time. So don't judge yourself for not being happy right away. And at the end of the day, your goal is not to be perfect. It's to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. That is the goal. And I really, really want this to help. I really do believe that we are the same consciousness. I really think that if I'm happy, I think you can be happy. You just have to break the patterns that your human brain was programmed of being paranoid, of being fear-filled, of being not happy. I think I know you can break those patterns because I did. So I want to help you out however I can. So please let me know however I can help you. Ask me questions. Please ask me questions of Victor. I'm still scared. I don't know what to do. Like, whatever it may be, I want to constantly make these videos for you and constantly help you evolve your process. So I know this was a lot in one video. I don't expect like one person to even watch this entire video. So if you are the person that watched to the end, you're probably the only person to ever watch it. Cool. Like if you're the one person's life I changed, awesome. Like that's really all I go for. So I'm happy. I really want this to change one person's life. So if you did, please let me know. And if you have any other questions of any other content you want me to make, I'll make it. But I hope this provided some level of value to you, and let me know. Thanks.